I just viewed the unclassified FD 1023 record in a skiff, proving that Joe Biden was involved in a $5 million bribery scheme to sell out the American people. Thanks a lot, big guy. This document memorialized the testimony of a trustworthy whistleblower who worked for the FBI for over a decade. This document corroborates the testimony of a foreign national who claimed to have bribed then Vice President Joe Biden. Christopher Wray has refused to comply with our subpoena and release these unclassified documents to the American people to view for yourselves. Instead, he has only allowed members of the committee to view the records in a skiff where the documents were even redacted. Let me tell you, the other side of the aisle would never allow this to stand. Last Congress, we saw Nancy Pelosi abuse her power as Speaker of the House to establish the sham January 6th Unselect Committee to play political games. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Peter Navarro, Dan Scavino, and even Steve Bannon were all unjustly held in contempt of Congress. Since the 82nd Congress, the House Oversight and Accountability Committee has acted as the voice of the American people to ensure their government is working for them, not against them. It's time we wield our power and hold FBI Director Wray in contempt. This committee has obtained thousands of pages of financial records tying 9 Biden family members to bribes from Chinese and Romanian companies and laundering their money through shady shell companies. We have real evidence that Joe Biden has sold out the American people with his years of shady business deals with foreign nationals, and we subpoenaed the deep state to get answers for you. Surprise, surprise. The woke and weaponized FBI is refusing to comply. I am determined to hold them accountable. Christopher Wray receives a salary from We the People. He works for you. He wasn't hired to cover up for the Biden crime family. The American people deserve to know how Biden sold them out. It's time we held Director Wray in contempt of Congress, and if he refuses to reply and release the records so the American people can make up their own minds about Biden's $5 million bribe, we don't need the FBI, the media, or even Congress to filter the evidence. We want the truth.
This information, this source that came forward, it's a paid informant by the FBI. This has nothing to do with Giuliani. This has nothing to do with the information that he brought forward in 2020. It's totally separate, and it's extremely credible because he's a paid informant. I made some notes after I left the skiff based on the information, and I'll share that with you guys right now. Basically, what was happening there is back in 2015, 2016, Burisma was looking to buy a U.S.-based oil and gas company. And this came from being advised by Hunter Biden and his partners. Biden said Shokin was corrupt. That was around the time of this meeting, was when Joe Biden, as vice president, had said that the prosecutor Shokin was corrupt. They hired Hunter on the board to make the problems go away. That's what they specifically said. Hunter advised that they could raise more money if they bought a U.S. company. So the informant was trying to do the right thing and trying to advise Burisma that they shouldn't go this route. They should hire an attorney, work out their problems that they were being investigated for because they were having other legal problems. And that's why they were being investigated by this prosecutor Shokin. The informant was advising them, don't go this route. Why would you buy another U.S. company while you're under investigation? That's not a good idea. So he's trying to tell them to do the right thing. The owner of Burisma said that Hunter was stupid and that his other business partner was smart. He also said that he paid $5 million to one Biden and he paid $5 million to another Biden. And it was all a bribery to get Shokin fired and end the investigation into Burisma. He also told the informant this is common practice in Russia and Ukraine. It's common practice, it's part of business there, that's how their culture works, that they will pay bribery money in order to get business deals done. and that many businesses, they take that into account. They put it in their budget, basically, when they're preparing to buy another company or start another company, that's just normal. The informant had asked the owner of Burisma if he was happy that Trump won, and he said no, he was not happy. Remember, he had invested a lot of money into the Bidens to make his problems go away. But he did say that it would take 10 years for all of us to find out the payments made to the Bidens because of how many bank accounts there were. He said at the time there were no direct payments made to the big guy, but in a meeting later, after he had become more upset as things were unfolding, he told the informant that he has 2 pieces of evidence showing proof of payment to Hunter and specifically Joe Biden. You see, I think what everyone needs to understand is that business owners, at least most smart ones, whether they're good or bad, whether they perform their business in a legal manner or a corrupt manner, they always keep records of their business payments, accounts and receivables. That's how it's done. And this owner of Burisma kept a record, especially of the bribes. And if you're in an industry where you have to pay bribes to get your business deals done, then you always want to keep a record and keep proof of your bribes, because that's how you make sure you get people to follow through on what they're done with. What I read today is again shocking. Just as what I read in the Treasury Department with all the SARS report is shocking. But we are going to continue following this investigation. We're going to continue to look into every single thing that we can uncover. We need the FBI to keep cooperating with us. That's extremely important. And I have very high expectations of Christopher Wray that he'll do the right thing and continue showing us the information that we're asking for. What I'm upset about, though, is the FBI doesn't think the American people are worthy of this unclassified information. I certainly do. I think the American people deserve to see it and know every single bit of it. That's why when I left this gift, I made all my notes on this piece of paper here so that I could explain everything to the American people.